Hey, my name is Billy Woodrich, and this is my restaurant. It's Billy's Oak Acres Barbecue. It's called that because originally this place opened up back in the 50s as a barbecue restaurant. And when I found the owner out here, we talked about it, and I told him I wanted to open this restaurant up and carry on. I said I wanted to leave the name the same. It had some really cool history. It had the original pit back here that the man's father built in the 50s, and it's still operable today. And I think that's a really cool part of this restaurant, to kind of carry it on. It's been cooking since about 56. All right, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go inside, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make a real pork butt. You can do this at home. It's easy. You'll impress your guest if you're having a party. So let's go inside and check it out. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make some rub. And we got just all basic ingredients. We're gonna start out with some paprika. Just use a large mixing bowl. We got some salt. And we gotta have a little black pepper. And we're gonna add sugar, just regular white sugar. We got some ground mustard and some garlic. Then we're gonna use some brown sugar. Then we're gonna blend all this together in just a large mixing bowl. The brown sugar is gonna make the top part of the fat on the pork butt, it's gonna turn it into like candy. You just kind of blend it just like that in the bowl. Right here we got a pork butt. It comes off it's actually a pork shoulder is what it is. And when I buy them, I like to select them where it has a good fat cap on the top. A lot of that's gonna melt away in the cooking process. I think it's gonna turn to a real crisp bark. That's what gives you the bark of the pork butt. And I use bone in. I don't use the boneless. I like the one with the blade bone in it. I think it makes for a better product. And basically all you do is I start with it upside down, and I take the rub, and you just start applying it liberally. Just get it all down there in the little cracks. Do the sides real well. I don't inject mine. I just strictly rub them, and we'll get to that part later. I'll show you why. Once you got all your sides done, place it in. I cook all mine in a pan like this. You can just kind of pack that right on top. Put a little extra. That brown sugar will stay clumpy. Then after that, it's ready to go into the smoker. Pork butt we prepared, we brought it out here to the pit. We've cooked it for about 8 hours at 225 degrees. Now we're gonna check it to see if it's done. It's been in the pan, we haven't touched it, we haven't done anything to it, but just let it sit out here. And there's our finished product. What we're gonna do, we'll set it right here. Just check and make sure it's done. You can just take any kind of fork, and that fork should just push into that pork butt with ease. It shouldn't, just like when you're checking a cake, it should just go right through it. And this one here, we're right on the money, and it's good to go. We got a good crust on the top, which was the fat cap. And we'll show you how to pull it and make the perfect pulled pork sandwiches. All right, here's our pork butt after it's been in the smoker for about 8 hours. We got the good crust that we talked about. This right here, we're gonna blend right up into the pork butt. What I do first is I get a spatula because it's gonna fall apart. And I'm gonna take the pork butt, I'm gonna place it right up on the cutting block or counter. There's a good little piece right there. And when this pork butt's done, you're gonna be able to take this blade bone, and the meat's just gonna fall right off. That's a perfect pork butt right there, when the meat falls off the bone. And you can take a couple of forks or a cleaver or whatever you prefer to use. Most people at home have forks, and you just blend it right up like that. and it just shreds, and it's gonna just keep shredding. I mean, you just shred that bark right into your meat. You can put it in a crock pot to keep it a little bit warm if you're gonna be serving like for a party. Then, you know, when you get some of this pork right here, take some of this, put it on a toasted bun, pile it up kind of big, put it on a toasted bun, put a little bit of slaw on there, put your top bun on. That's a perfect pulled pork sandwich. I mean, you serve that at a party and everybody's gonna think you're okay. If you run this and if you keep this in a crock pot shredded like this, you can take a little bit of our natural gravy that we have in the pan. That's why I cook them in a pan, because I want that juice. That's why I don't inject them. I don't fool with them. I rub them, smoke them. I got my natural gravy right there. You can spoon some of that out, and you can moisten that meat up a little bit after it's been sitting in a crock pot to serve it. Typically, Texas is more beef than it is pork. I kind of wanted to change that up a little bit because I've always been kind of a pork guy. I've always enjoyed cooking pork butts and ribs and things like that. Do I still eat brisket occasionally? But I'm a real big pork guy, and I'm pretty sold on these pork butts. They seem to do really well for me.